This is Lee with 83 Gamma 12 on YouTube channel Sons Liberty 75. This will be the 1500 turn, 3 o'clock turn. So we've got 4 turns left. 1 hour left in this battle. Glory and Empire First Victories, Wellington vs. Napoleon by Lock and Load Publishing. Terry Dougherty is the designer, and he has created a very fine game. It's actually my pick as my top tactical Napoleonic system. The system is very clean, and I don't find any faults in the system. Well, we've got a warm November so far here in Texas, where I reside. So as I was saying, this is a very clean, I think historically accurate simulation of combat for the time period. And I'm very pleased with the way that skirmishers are portrayed and handled in this game. And you have basically 2 types. You have just the regular skirmishers, and then you have the skirmishers in they'll what is it they call it? They'll Bardet or de Bondade. Skirmishers in de Bondade or Bondade. And that's kind of interesting. And you've actually got them to form in either they've got company size or battalion size. And there's some certain specific rules dealing with the battalion size units different from the company size. And I don't know that I've had any that were battalion size. There may not be any in this game. I think most of the ones that can go to or have SEDs are well, no, there's one right there. The French have some. So this unit here, well, he's got an SED side. I should have just flipped him over. I think I was like not really wanting to, I just wanted to give him a skirmisher. Maybe I've been handling those wrong. That's something I'll have to look at. The battalion size. I think I've been just handling as they're throwing out a company. You know, that's all this, some of them are, but some of them are battalion sized. And so like, okay, so this unit here, okay, it's got this subscript 1, okay, means it can throw out a skirmisher, but it can also flip, it can just flip to its SED side, and that means that the whole battalion is in skirmish mode. So that's something I got to look at. But so we've got this unit. Oops. Okay. Now that's a company size unit. It's got that one subscript, but it's got that horn symbol. Okay. So it's kind of odd because on the back here, see this one here has skull and crossbones, which means it's eliminated. It only has one step. And why didn't they just put the SED information on the back like they did with the green jackets? Maybe I'm missing something here about the skirmishers. If we find a green jacket, well, here's this one right here. Okay, so instead of me holding them, I'll just pull down here. Okay, so here we have a British, okay, sick part of the 60th. This here is the French, Hanover. Okay, now they both have the horn symbol. They both have a subscript 1, and they both have rifle units with the pink box. Okay, so their fire value is in a pink box on both units. Okay, now if we flip the unit over, okay, see this unit here has the SED information on the back, while this one doesn't. But if this one takes a loss, it's gone. It's skull and crossbones too. So I'm just curious why they chose to do this unit that way, but this unit they didn't. Now we've got another one here that's French, and these are foreign units. So so here's another one. Okay, And it's the same thing. Okay. Now this is, they're both company size units. I flip this over. It's skull and crossbones. So I have to put an SED marker on it, which is no big deal, but I was just curious to why they chose to do that. Maybe it had something to do with the printing, because if we take the Portuguese units, let's put the Portuguese unit in here. That's a cavalry unit, but it doesn't matter. Okay. I don't. Of course, they don't have. I don't think the Portuguese. They didn't have. Let's see. Yeah, I don't. They didn't have skirmishers with any of their units, so that wouldn't factor in here to what we're actually looking at. But all of the Green Jackets, part of the 95th or the 60th, they have that reverse side that's an SED. So I'm just curious about that. Put these units back. Let's see. What's that one? Just like that, I think. No, it was like that. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So maybe I need to take a closer look at the skirmish rules, specifically the skirmishers in de Bandad, and see if there's something that I'm not doing correctly. Well, I know that if it's a battalion, then they have to pass a recall skirmish check. So in order for them to voluntarily join a stack, they have to pass that recall skirmisher check. So the only thing is, if they don't pass the check, they don't lose, their morale's not affected. It's just that they can't change formation and their movement is complete. So now it does say that because they change formation, they do have to take a disorder check for changing that formation, just like a regular unit. That's a battalion size, though. And then also it affects dealing with command. And of course, a unit in SED projects a skirmish zone that goes in all directions, because they've got all around facing. So that's, I don't know if that's something that I've been applying correctly. So I guess with this unit, well, a battalion, I'd have to find the battalion unit again. Oh, it's right over here. Okay. Pull down to this one. So, okay, so with this one, I could throw out just a skirmisher But if I wanted to have the whole battalion become an SED, I'd do it like that. But if I just wanted to throw out part of the battalion, I think I can just do it that way. Or maybe I can't. Maybe I just have to throw out that instead of this. This would be thrown out there if they were to say flip over and do it that way. But then this isn't needed. So it's like, okay, when is this? How's this different? Well, I guess with this company size unit here that only has one step. I'm just trying to clarify some of the skirmish aspects that, I'm just wanting to make sure that I'm doing it correctly. Because there are differences between just a regular skirmisher and SED. Beyond just the range, like, okay, SED has, but I mean, okay, if he's just throws out this, will he still have a 3 hex range, or is it just now back to 1 hex? Because you're throwing out skirmishers in Tri-Yars, I think that's about Ty-Yars, Ty-Yars. So what we have here is, okay, so the system offers 2 modes of deploying skirmishers. A unit that employs a portion of its troops as skirmishers to act in close concert with the parent unit, okay, is said to be in Ty-Yars. Ty-Yars, or Ter-LRs. Pronounce it how you want. A unit that employs entirely or almost entirely in the skirmish formation is said to be in débandade. Some units can use both modes, some only one of the modes, and some none. The counters will indicate the modes that can be employed. Collectively, the 2 types are referred to as skirmishers. Okay, so okay, it says that the number of SP, okay, strength points a unit may deploy is indicated in the unit counter as exponent of the strength point value. If the number is 0 or is blank, then it cannot deploy any skirmishers in Ty-Yars. Step losses may reduce the ability. Let's pull back just a little bit here. Okay, so let's see here if I can. So, to deploy skirmishers, place a skirmisher 1, 2, or 3 marker. The number on the marker indicates the number of strength points deployed. Eligible units may deploy skirmishers during a movement or reserve movement. Deploying skirmishers does not cost movement points. Units may recall skirmishers during their movement or reserve movement phases. To recall skirmishers, simply remove the skirmisher marker. Okay, and then, they're also removed during assaults and charges and so forth. And doesn't cost movement points. Okay, and it says only the top unit in a stack can deploy skirmishers. So, let me move these guys out of the way. Put them back over here where they were at. So I think actually he would have to go like, I think he'd have to do that. This guy's going full skirmish mode. Okay. So, only units in line or column may deploy skirmishers. All right. Skirmish zone. Okay, so if they have rifles, and that's what that pink box is, then they've got, it extends out to 3 hexes through their front hex. Now, if they're an SED all around, because SED units do not have a facing, it's all around facing. Okay, so that none of that really changed. What I need to do is I need to look at, okay, so the zone, okay, so Tyrayars have the same facing as their parent unit. So now, if we look at skirmishers in De Bondad, okay, I'll just do it this way, get up there closer. Okay. Okay, so it's indicated by the bugle ornament. Okay. So for convenience, units with only one step have an SED symbol on the reverse side, but not all the units do, because this one here has skull and crossbones, and it's got the horn. Okay, why that one was done that way, I don't know if it was because it was on the counter sheet alongside maybe those Portuguese units. Who knows? So units eligible to enter SED may do so by expanding the MP for a formation change. Mark the unit with an SED marker. Okay. Company size units can change formation from SED by expending the movement cost of a formation change. So, yeah, I think I believe the SED is more restrictive. If you put them in De Bondad, they have all round facing. So if you just want to throw out, if you have a battalion size unit and you only want to throw out a portion of your, like a company or a smaller amount of skirmishers, then you do tirailleurs. Okay, but if you want to put all of the unit in skirmish mode, if they're capable, then you would go débandade, and you have to follow the special rules that go along with that. So okay, so some of these units, maybe I should have just thrown out a skirmish marker instead of an SED marker. Because with an SED, one thing is you have a -2 to die roll modifier when units are firing at that unit, while with just skirmishers, it's just a -1. So the débandade is just a thicker amount, which is going to cause more visibility issues. And also, not only that, but a thicker amount firing at you. So there's going to be more smoke. There's going to be, more balls flying at you. So, okay, so I've got to keep that in mind because they do see there is this, if they're battalion size, that's where I think you have to pay more attention to how you mark those units, whether or not they're just throwing out part of their unit as skirmishers, or if they're just going to be the whole battalion's turning into skirmishers. So, kind of got off on something there, but I thought, well, it's something that I don't know that I was doing correctly, and I thought, I need to check when I come across and recognize, hey, I got something going on here. Now, I want to point something out here. This here is Lasson's division. Of course, Lasson was taken out, and then Solignac was taken out too. So whoever ends up replacing here, he was taken out. So not only that, but this whole division, there's only one battalion left and one artillery battery. That's all that's left of that division. That whole division's been decimated. And, we've got, let's see, the Portuguese, they've been they've been wiped out. Portuguese units. And the 8th Brigade has been wiped out. And Ferguson's brigade only has one battalion and a company of skirmishers left. So, this has been a pretty bloody affair. All right, so let's get started with the turn. Now that I spent some time talking about the skirmishers, and I just need to verify for myself whether or not what I was doing has been correct. And seems like it's not. At least part of it has not, and that has to do with the battalion-sized units. I was just automatically making a unit that had a horn to signify the ability to turn into an SED or have SED units. Let's see, where's that at? Yeah. See, right here it tells you SED capable for the British, and here this for the French, SED capable, which means they can have skirmishers in débandade. And okay, and then the other thing is this box here, that's only to be used when they're in skirmishers in débandade. That's not to be used when they just have skirmishers. So if you have a battalion-sized unit that throws out some skirmishers, they don't get this benefit here unless they're and that's the way I look at it. I see it is it says, you know, that SED fire strength. It doesn't say, you know, all skirmishers, just skirmishers in débandade. So I think that's something that I haven't done correctly. But it's something that I think from here on out, I can say, oh, I remember that because I made such an effort to understand that. So, but even all of that doesn't change my opinion of anything. It's just like, oh, that's something that, you know, I misunderstood. And, you know, when you go through and you carefully read the rules, the designer and the publisher have done a very good job with the rules. And I like the way the rule book is set up and laid out. It's just a really nice piece of work. Okay, so we've got the 1500 turn. That's the 3 o'clock. For those don't quite understand military time, and I always have to stop and count from 12. You know, to figure out. Oh, okay. I don't know. I just can't just automatically pop in my head that 15 is 3. So. All right, let's get going. Wow, 30 minutes. 30 minutes of just yabbering. Command segment. Here it is. And so we have the initiative phase. We are going to roll the dice. I'll just roll it right here. Let's get this out of the way. There we go. I'll just put it in the cup. Oh, we got a 0. Okay. So with a 0, we have a random event. And we just use the number. I just used this one here, which is 4. All right, so Berard thinks Wellesley is too aggressive. The French win the initiative. All orders for the British player are canceled this turn. Oh, wow. So Berard has stepped in again. We've already had this happen one other time. And this is all on the information over here. Okay, this is the Vimeiro random event chart. And so you have this. If you roll a 0, then Of course, normally I guess you re-roll, but I just used the 4, the other dice that was rolled, and then I just re-roll the for the French orders. So Berard has decided that Wellesley's been too aggressive, and so no orders for the British this time. And so then we go to the French have a 5, and then Huneau he adds a 2, and it's not on the counter. It's just in the information that we have on the chart over here. So Huneau he adds 2 command initiative modifier, and Wellesley, the 2's there, but with Wellesley there is no 3. He has a 3, and on his counter it's not there. So that means 2. That's 7. So 7 will give the French 2 orders. Of course, they're going to be attack orders. And so my editing app has been causing some glitches, especially with the sound. And so the next few videos are not going to be edited. I'm not going to be able to put the little, words signifying what we have next and any of that. I'm just taking the video straight from my phone and putting it up. I'm not doing any editing. And so far that has solved that glitch with the sound that stops at a certain time. All right, so the French have these 2 orders. So let's pull back and think about what the French would like to do here. So this guy here. Oh. No, what's the deal here? What is this guy doing over here? 666. Oh, he goes with those guys. Okay. So this unit here is assets. And they're being assigned over here to Paty. Which that's what we have now. We've already got the initiative. The French have the initiative. They've got 2 orders. We attach these 3 units to Paty. And I'll go ahead and mark them because they're going to be, they're going to be out of command, at least a couple of them. That one will be out of command. And I've got another one. Where's my out of command marker set? So they're going to be out of command. Let's see here. This artillery unit here That's part of that division anyway, so it automatically ended up with him, and it's going to be out of command. The division commander is gone. Okay, so all we have left is the brigade commander. Probably, I don't know, a lieutenant, something below a general rank, because they are the replacement for Solinak. So there that is. All right. Gotta get rid of that one. So okay, he's got a range of 3. They can actually be in command under Delabord, so they're going to be okay. All right, so now we have to think about, okay, where do we want to place our attack markers at? Who do we? Well, of course, we want Weiss with the cavalry. He still has this 1 cavalry unit here that he's with. Weiss is with. It's a light cavalry unit. 5 steps. But, of course, they don't have... they've got a 0 for their combat modifier. So we want that. And then we want to... The French, they need to get in here. That hill there is important for victory points. I think I'm going to put the other attack over here with this. I'm thinking that possibly Salam will be able to recover way over there. And maybe this unit here, and they would be able to possibly do something here. Or ride through or around and attack these units here. So that's where the 2 attacks are going to go. Next, we have the command initiative phase, order initiative, not command, order initiative phase. This is where we have leaders attempt to gain an order that don't have one. And so we've got Pati. The only way he's going to be able to gain an order is if we give, he's got a 0. Well, we can't roll below a 0. So if we gave who knows 2 command initiative points, he would have a 2. So a 1 or a 0, and he could get an order. But with the unit here out of command, they're not going to be able to get. Well, one thing is they can't assault. They're out of command, so that kind of takes that away. So we don't. That's not important there. Kellerman, however, we do want to possibly, we want to get attack order with him. Okay, so Kellerman has a 3. And we can use who knows command initiative points or value as a modifier for at least twice each game turn. So we're going to add 2 to Kellerman, which means he now has a 5. So we need a 4, 3, 2, 1, or 0. I rolled a 6, so no order there. Next, let's see, who else do we have here? We got Delaborde, and we're going to do the same thing with theirs. We're going to add, give the +2 over there with Delaborde. And again, we need a 4 or less. Got a 2. So, Delaborde now has attack orders that will be issued to Domier's and Messler, because they're both within command range. And that's it for the command segment. I think my thing here is just a little bit off. There we go. The British don't have any actions at the present. So the first phase or first player turn, it goes to the French. So we go to the recovery segment. We have the rally phase, cavalry recovery phase, and artillery resupply. And the fatigue is part of the brigade game. But it's also something that you could add to the battalion. Excuse me, the battalion game. You could add it. So let's start recovering. And I just do all 3 of the phases as I go along, instead of do one phase, then do the next phase, so forth. So here will be our first attempt to recover. So they're disordered. And cavalry recovery, so we recover that. So they've got 1 spent. So -5 plus 2 is going to be a -3. $85. So they recover. They're still spent, though. All right. This goes here. That unit's there. All right, so we move to there. This unit. Remove 1 spent marker. And then we roll. They are shaken. 61, 51. So they pass. We go to this unit. Okay, Kellerman. We'll add +6. So it'll be a -4. 46. So they're going to recover to just be disordered. That unit. Who's disordered, so that's -5. 87, so they recovered. All right, this unit. 12, they didn't. They they didn't recover. Now this unit is in command now. Disordered 17, so no, they don't recover. Okay, this shaken unit, minus 10, 55, so they recover to disordered. Unit behind, 99, they recovered. Let's move back here. We've got a couple of units back here. Got this routed unit, minus 20, 87. So they will recover to shaken, and we can reposition them. There we go. All right, now we have this one here that's with who know. So that's minus 20 plus 10, so it's a minus 10. 23. They are gone. And 32. There we go. Okay. That unit right there. $34 minus 5. Of course, they didn't. This unit can't attempt. They're in a zone of control. We look here, we've got, I'm gonna have to go way over here to this unit here. Well, first off, let's get this one here before we do that one. Gotta pull back here. We've got this unit here. 89, they recovered. They're no longer out of command. I'll go ahead and fix that too. All right, so now we go to this unit. Shaken. 22, they stay shaken. All right. Disordered, slom. Minus 5 plus 2, so it's minus 3. 11, so they didn't recover. Kind of hoping they would so that they could charge. Let's do this broken unit back here. So minus 15, 13. So they're going to route and disappear. 6 hexes. 6. They go all the way over here toward Toledo. They're routing. And then over there, we've got both of these units. $61. Okay, so they recover to disorder, and then here, disorder plus 2 with minus 3, 19. So no, they're not going to be able to charge. So that's a wasted order. Yeah, that was a wasted order there. Now we have to check for any artillery that needs to... I don't think there is. Okay, so the French don't have any artillery looking to... I thought there was here somewhere. Guess not. Okay. Next, fire segment. And then we have the artillery fire segment non-phasing player. All right. I'm going to start over here. It's SED unit. Firing at this British unit here. Firing from here to here. Okay. They are rifled units, so 1, 2, 3. And they've got a strength of 2. $20. I don't think that's strength of 2. I don't think. Yeah, I have to have at least a 50. All right, so they didn't do anything there. Then we have this other SED unit. They have a range of 3 also. Strength of 2. Okay, 68. Strength of 2 is going to be a morale check. The British player rolled a 68, so they're going to pass, even with the -5. So that didn't do anything. Okay, so then we have this unit here that's in column. I think they were right there. Shaken. So they're going to have a strength of 0. 81. 81. That's going to be a morale check. They rolled a 65, so no effect. So select their bulletproof. All right. This artillery unit doesn't have anybody to fire at. Let's see here. Okay, so this skirmisher here, they have a range. They're not in line. Okay, so they have, there's 3 out there, strength of 3. 1, 2, 3. Are they rifled? No. Okay, so they're out of range. These guys are not out of range. These guys right here. So they are going to fire at this stack here. Okay. So they are in column. That's what that red disc means for me. So that's a strength of 3 plus 1 is 4. 62. That's going to be morale minus 10. They're disordered, so that's minus 5 more, so they're at minus 15. The roll is 77. They get plus 4 with Nightingale. So minus 15 plus 4 is minus 11. That'd be if they passed. No effect there. Then this unit here has 3 skirmishers. Minus 1, so that's 2 skirmishers. They're also going to fire there. That's plus 1, so they're back to 3. Strength of 3. 46. Morale check. British rolled a 94, so they passed. Okay. No skirmishers, no skirmishers. These guys, they just have skirmishers. That's just a range of 2, so they don't have a target. Here, oh, we got our some guns. All right, so these guns are gonna fire at this village hex here. Were they shaken or disordered? They're in column. They've got SCD units. Okay. So that's minus 2. They are in canister range. That's plus 3. All right, so they got a strength of 1. And they're disordered, so that's minus 1. So they have a strength of 1. Canister plus 3, so they're at 4. Target is in column, but with a village it's minus 1, so that equals out to 0. So we're sitting at 3. And then they have that SCD, so that's minus 2. So they have a strength of only 1. 87. Morale check. They rolled a 62, minus 5. If they were at disorder, I don't know if they were at disorder or shaken. Give them the benefit of the doubt. So with that SCD unit, that's 32. They're going to pass. Okay. So now we go to, so we know this is an attack. We go to this unit there. And of course, they're firing right here straight ahead. They, okay, so they would not be in SCD mode. Well, I mean, I guess there was. Let's see. Let me put them back. This is one of those units that it can throw out a skirmisher, or it can be in SCD mode. But they wouldn't be able to assault. Well, they wouldn't want to assault in SCD. So this is where I'm correcting what skirmish rules that I misinterpreted. So they would just have a regular skirmisher, which means they don't get the 2, black 2 in the pink box. They would just have a 1 strength, and they're disordered, so that's minus 1, so they're at 0. So it's going to be they're going to have a strength of 0. 73, they're going to get a morale check. And the British player rolled a 45. So they're going to pass. All right. So now we have Delabord. Now, Delabord has got several options here. I think he's like that. So, he can fire here into that village, or he can fire right there. That's not canister, but this unit is turned like that. So he's into the flank. He also has this unit here, this artillery unit they could fire on. But he wants to fire at Crawford's guys here. Okay, so strength of 4 plus 2 from Delabord, that's 6. And then into the flank is 2 more. So we're looking at 8. Oh, he rolled a 2, which is going to give him low ammo. Wow. I don't think that artillery unit there has been able to do much. So this unit here doesn't have anybody to fire at because of the unit in front of him. Okay, so now we move to here. So this unit here is in column, strength of 1, but because they're shaken, it's going to be 0. And they're firing at this unit, which is in SCD mode. But there's another unit there. But still, that's -2. It's 0. Strength of 0. 20 is no effect. Okay, then this unit here. Okay, skirmisher. And they're -1. 0. 51's not enough. Okay. So this unit here can turn like so. This artillery unit. That's a +2 there. But, yeah, I think he's not going to be able to see him. He's down in this little cubby. So I don't know that he'd be able to, because even if he turned like that, he can't hit this guy. If he turns like this, I think you can see her. I don't think you can see either one of those. Drop my stinking phone on the table. Jostled everything. All right, so the issue here is, all right, right here you got a slope and another slope, okay? And even though this unit is way up there on that higher slope, he can't, because of this and then this. You know, he's down here looking over this elevation. So I don't see that he can see him. Know that you could elevate. You could elevate the cannon for such a sharp elevation. So if that's like 20, that'd be 20, 40, that'd be 60. Yeah, I don't think he'd have to be back at least a hex, I think. So if he was back a hex, then he would. But where he's at, he doesn't have a line of sight or ability to elevate there. So, okay, we're done there. Now we go to defensive fire. I call it defensive fire. Non-phasing player. Okay. So here, we've got this gun here. Let's see, where's this guy at? I think he's right there. Okay. So he's firing here at that unit. So strength of 2, 2, 3 targets in column. That's +1, so strength of 3. 28. Strength of 3. 28 is not enough. Okay. The only other is going to be over here with Nightingale. So we've got this unit. And he's going to fire right here straight ahead at this unit. So strength of 2, disordered. So the strength of 1, canister, +3. So now we're at 4, +1 for the target being in column. And then -1 for skirmishers. So 4. 19. Not enough to do anything. All right. So now we move to the movement segment. Attacker order phase, command status phase, and then movement phase. I'm not quite sure what their attack order phase. I think I looked at that earlier. What's it say? 424. That might have to do with, I think that has to do with core, when you got several cores. You know, we got one core here. So the overall commander is the core commander. Yeah, each corps leader makes his corps leader orders check. So we don't have to worry about that because we just have the overall commander is the corps leader. So we're not giving the corps, we're not giving who know a check because we don't have an attack order on him. The attack orders are already placed on subordinates. So if to say the attack order was on him and you're trying to, place, uh, division commanders, okay, then you'd have to roll because Huno would only be able to activate so many at one time because of his leadership ability. So, all right. So we are to take care of that through the order phase, order segment at the beginning of each turn. So Napoleon's not on the board. So we just have one corps. We have the same thing over on the British side. We don't have multiple corps for Wellesley to command. All right, so we go right to movement. And Bagneris here, I don't know if they actually would be able to put, say, the unit they're with in command. I mean, I would think they're stacked with a leader, so they would be in command. But they're not within command range of their commander. But they're stacked with a leader. We'll start with, Pettit doesn't have any attack orders. And I don't know if they're turned like that. Yeah, I think they are. So what we want to do is we want to swing around here so we can attack these guys from the backside. So Weiss, this is a light cavalry. So they have a movement potential of 14, but they're in line. So if they go more than 10, use more than 10 movement of their movement allowance, more than 10, then they would have to roll and check morale for disorder check. So uphill, and I think for that uphill or downhill is +2. So let's see. Yeah, uphill or downhill. So this would be, okay, so we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then we could go to there and turn and declare a charge. And this is in their charge zone. 1, 2, 3, 4. It has to be within that fourth. So they wouldn't be able to do anything after that. Otherwise, let's say if they were here and then they moved to here, then they could, attack further. If they were to attack this unit, they could push it here or there, and they'd still be able to attack. This allows them to either go 1, 2, or 1, 2, 3 and get that added bonus of the the added bonus. So that's where they went. Plus, it puts him back over here close to this unit. And let's see. If they're spent, that's -3. Let's see. What is their movement if they're spent? Oh, it's going to be over here, I think. Will it be over here or not? No, it won't. Let me look that up real quick. Where's it at? Where is it at? Okay. Okay, so cavalry units with a spent marker may not initiate a charge, but it doesn't say that it reduces their movement. Where if they have, 2 spent markers, they can only move half. If they have only 1, then they, can move 3/4 or something. Or if they move, then they don't get to remove a spent marker. If they move more than so many, maybe they didn't want to, put that much just doesn't say. So the The reason I'm saying or doing that is, okay, so thing is, if this unit moves, okay, they can get fired on by this artillery unit. So maybe I don't want to move them. Okay, so, all right, so I moved, and I'll just leave them alone. I won't move them. So here, I want to move Petit's units. It's all of these guys. So this unit is going to move 1, 2, 3 to here. And then this unit is just going to move up to here. And this unit, who can move 4, 1, 2, and, okay, he can throw out a skirmisher, which he wants to do. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. He'll move to there. And I can remove that. This unit here is out of command because 1, 2, 3. There's his commander right here, so he's out of command. Put this back over here. So we'll move Kellerman's units now. So here's Kellerman's group. This is not too good. Got a crossfire here. This artillery unit here and that unit there. 2 hexes. Any movement in here, any movement in here, this unit moves, he gets fired on by that artillery unit. So, all right. I'm going to move to here. Like that. And as he does, both of these are going to be able to blast him. Jeez. Let's start with this one. Okay. They have low ammo. Strength of 2, -1 for being disordered. They're in column, so that's +1. So back to 2, plus its canister. So we're at 5, strength of 5. I rolled a 15. I think that's still going to be a morale check. Yeah. Strength, what did I say, 5? Yeah, no, just by 1 point it failed. So no effect. Now they rolled a 15 though. So they're out of ammo now. Out of ammo. So now we have this unit's firing. They have a strength of 2, disordered, so that's -1. And so there's strength of 1. This unit's in column, but there's a skirmisher. So now we're still at 1. So that should have been a strength of 4. Anyways, okay, so we got a strength of 4. canister plus 3 is 4. 21, no effect. Okay, so so now he's going to assault this because this has no ammo. So we don't have to worry about that firing at him. So as he leaves, okay, of course he's, well, he doesn't actually have to turn. He can go into that hex. So as he leaves this hex, this unit can fire again. So, same thing, it's still going to be 4, strength of 4. Rolled a 2. So no effect, plus, gotta go to low ammo. Where's the low ammo marker? All right, so the French have lucked out there. So now we have a low ammo marker here. And so now we have, let's see, where's the rest of Kellerman's? Here's one here. And we have, okay, we've got one here and one here. So he's going to turn, and he's going to go here. So as he does that, he's getting fired at. Okay. And again, so artillery unit has strength of 2, -1 for being disordered, so a strength of 1. Target is in column, so now we're at 2. -1 for the skirmishers, back to 1. Canister is 3, so we're at 4. Oh, 71 is a brown check -10, and the French rolled an 86, so they passed. And so we've got an assault. There it is. Put that over there. Right there. He's going to stay just like where he's at. And then this guy's moving up, but he can only move 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Right there. Okay. All right, so we're done there. Huneau wants to go out here and try to save this cavalry unit here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so he goes all the way out here. All right, and we come back, and we're taking a look at Delaborde's group, specifically Messler. So Messler has a command range of 2, 1, 2. Okay, that there is Kellerman's. So all of his, all of his units are in command. This belongs to Pettit here, so it's out of command. But it's going to prolong to right there. All right, now let's see what Messler's guys can do here. Pretty much all of them are disordered. But I can throw out skirmishers and then attack. But being disordered could be dangerous. All right, let's put up a skirmisher. And assault. Right there. This guy puts up a skirmisher and assaults. Okay. This guy goes. Okay, he's gonna move 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6, 7. So he can move into there, assaulting. Let's see what we got here. Okay, this unit that's under this artillery unit. Messler's going to stay right here where he's at. He's not going to add anything, is he? No. Well, he could move up 1. Yeah, let's move him up to here. So he's closer to everybody. And this unit under here is going to assault. So they go forward right there and assault, which leaves this artillery unit alone. They just stay there. And then this artillery unit is going to prolong to join this artillery unit. And only the top unit is ammo low, not both. Yeah, I'll keep double board right there. Okay, so now we move to the other division, which is Vimeiro. Okay. So yeah, he's going to put up a skirmisher and go 1, 2, turn, and go 3, attacking right there. Where's an assault? Where'd it go? Here it is. Right there. All right. Oh yeah, didn't want to move him. And then way over here, wasn't able to do anything with any of these guys. This unit here is gonna turn around, go back up this way. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then turn right there. So this unit's going to go here. And this unit will stay where they're at. No. Yeah, they can stay where they're at. But the leader is actually going to go here. This bunch, this here. Okay. So we're going to remove that because they can't charge in the state that they're in. Okay, and this artillery unit is going to prolong to right there. And turn will be like that. Now they're going to be able to see and fire on this unit. Okay. We don't have any reserve movement by the British. They didn't have any orders. So now we can go to the close combat segment. Charge phase first. And right down here, we've got this unit right here. So we've got two targets. We've got this target. We've got that target. This is the juice, your target. One thing is, they're being assaulted already. So, but that artillery's out of ammo. So I think maybe we hit this one. Yeah, I think so. So this one here can attempt. Well, wait a minute. He's just ordered, so I don't think he can't. I don't. He can't go to. He can't go to square. That's the other thing. You have to be. I think you. I'm pretty sure. Let's see. I believe you have to be in a normal state. So let's see here. I think I have to go the other direction. Yeah. One thing is you can look a couple of different places. One place to look is reaction. Reaction. Okay, so pull back. All right, so right here. So we've got reaction formation change. The non-phasing player's combat units may attempt to make a reaction formation change when phasing combat units voluntarily enters or leaves a hex or changes formation within 3 hexes of the reacting unit. So they could have done something when I first moved over there, but they chose not to. Okay, but they can choose once the move, say, another hex here, they could choose. So the only reaction formation change allowed in the battalion game is infantry units to form square. And the answer to my question, my inquiry, only units in a normal morale state may attempt a reaction formation change. So, that's ripe pickings right there, because they cannot go to square. Plus, they're going to be hammered into their flank. So things don't look so good for the for this unit here. So here's the charge. 1, 2. All right. And our target is this unit, which is disordered. and they're getting attacked in the flank. So we move to combat versus infantry and artillery, defender morale check. They have a morale of 33, but we got a modifier of -5 because they're disordered. Then, okay, charge from the flank is -30. So now we're at a -35. Then we have the charging unit CVM, which CVM with the leader is going to be 1. That's a 0, so 1. So that's going to be -5 more. So now we're at -40. I'm not saying they can't pass this, but they rolled a 50. So they fail, which means they're shaken. And that causes them to move. So they're going to have to move into a enemy. They can't move into that hex. So they've got to either move here or here. And I guess the way that guy's facing. Front. This is not a front. It's a front to this, but it doesn't have access. So, but they are going into this unit's because they've got front right here. I don't think they're turned. I think they're supposed to be like this. But because of course I turned them. Facing change. So yeah. So So we would go to attacking units that are in a normal morale state, enter disorder, and then they have to advance. And of course, they can't pursue because they're entering. Well, no, I guess they can, but it's the same target. They're pursuing that, you know. So they can either go there or there. In either place, well, there they're going to go in, but of course that unit can't do anything. So I guess they could go to there, and I guess. Let me just look. Let's see. Okay, let's find the retreats. Okay, path of retreats. All right, I don't know what. I guess the cavalry, even though they are spent, they would still have. Okay. Yeah, they're not listed here under units that don't have a ZOC. So they would be entering their ZOC, but of course they can't charge. when they're spent. But I guess it's still considered zone of control. Okay, so okay, retreating units are not allowed to enter an enemy zone of control. So, I guess, does that mean they're just eliminated? Okay, units that are required to retreat. Oh, that's before combat. Let me look over here. I cut all this out, but okay, so they are eliminated. A retreating unit must move the required number of hexes. Each hex a retreating unit enters must be 1 hex further away from the starting hex. So units are not allowed to retreat into a hex occupied by enemy combat units. They may retreat into a hex occupied solely by enemy leaders. Units are not allowed to retreat off the map. Units are not allowed to retreat into terrain. Their unit type or formation is not allowed to enter. Units are not allowed to enter the same hex twice during their retreat. Units are not allowed to retreat into an enemy zone of control that is not also occupied or by a friendly unit if there is another empty hex available. Units forced to retreat into an enemy zone of control that is only occupied by friendly units worsen the morale state by 1 level. Okay, so they would be forced to either go here or here. If they go to say they go here, they're now broken. And they could go through that unit. Okay, so they become broken. There we go. And now they retreat 3 hexes, like so. 1, 2, and then 3, like that. Now, this stack has to make a morale check because that stack went through them. So, we roll for that. They rolled a 97, so they're okay. Now, this cavalry unit moves in there, and they have to be they're going to be marked with a disorder marker, and I don't know, I guess I don't have one, so I have to use one of these. Okay, and then pursuit. They would want to pursue, so because we want to try to do something. So you don't have to attempt a recall. So the cavalry that pursues must follow the path of the retreating units exactly. Changing facing is necessary. Cavalry must pursue up to the point where the cavalry begins in or enters an enemy zone of control. So the unit went here, so I guess they would go to there, and then of course they would stop because now they're in that zone of control. They would only change the facing as necessary. So it wasn't necessary to move into that hex. A broken or routed stack that has pursued at least 1 hex loses a step. So that's what we wanted. We wanted to cause this unit to lose a step, which they are forced to do because pursued 1 hex. So they would have to stop there, and then they're going to be spent. And not only that, but they could then regroup. But if they regroup, these units, this unit's be able to fire on them because, well, maybe not, because the cavalry, they haven't had an opportunity to change. It's not their turn yet, so they can't change order till it's their segment, their phase. So they could actually regroup by just moving away, and these guys couldn't fire on them. The artillery's out of ammo, so let's just do that. We're just they just end up regrouping by coming back here. 1, 2, 3. So they go back to there for their regroup. And there we are. All right, so that was the only charge. I can't put it there. So now let's move on to the assaults. And we got quite a few of those. So the first one, I guess I could just do it that way. It's right here. So we've got this unit assaulting this unit, and facing like that. Now, the top unit is the unit that is the only unit that can fire. So just because they're out of ammo doesn't mean, okay, these guys get to move up and fire. Now, when it's their turn, they can shift positions. So here we've got the assault. They're disordered. They got skirmishers, and they've got a leader. So a lot going on there. All right. First off, nobody's retreating. We've got attacker morale check. So for the attacker, we've got -5, +6. So right now we have a +1. 28. Oh man, they failed. Okay, so they failed. And they become shaken, which means they're forced back. And that's it. So this was over. They just get pushed back. They don't follow through. All right. So they escaped presently. All right. Next. And they're attacking this stack here. So attacking here, we've got this unit here. All right, so they're disordered, out of ammo. They have a leader. Well, no, they're not out of ammo. They've got low ammo. So, all right, but morale check. They're disordered. Oh, but it's the attacker first. Okay, so the attacker, okay. Attacker doesn't have any modifications. Oh, but he rolled a 7. All right, so they become disordered. Okay. And the defender rolled a 97, so they pass. So they're going to get well-directed fire. And that's what we have next. So with well-directed fire, strength of 2, -1 for being disordered. So strength of 1. Target has skirmishers. Now we're at 0. Target's in column. That's +1. Canister +3, so we're up to 4. Well-directed fire, we're at 6. Now they rolled a 5. 5. You have to be kidding me. Okay, no effect. Plus, they now are out of ammo. And the well, they did have a -5. Okay, so now they're firing. They got their skirmishers. Well, that's a strength of 3. -1 for being disordered. So a strength of 2. Ooh, 93. 93, strength of 2. 93 is a morale check minus 10. And they've got a minus 5 for disorder, so they're at minus 15. Nightingale adds 4. But that 93, does that cause a leader casualty? No, got to be 95 or above. So, minus 15, they rolled a 33, so they are going to become shaken. Plus the minus 20 for the offensive fire. So the artillery unit is going to be captured. These guys were also in column. So let's see. That's still going to be the same result. But that's going to force these guys back to here. They're shaken. Basthurst here. Shaken. Oops. Shoot. Come on. Okay. So that artillery unit is taken when this unit moves in here. So as they move in, they get fired on by this unit. Get rid of that. So the skirmishers are, wait a minute. Yeah, I think the skirmishers are gone. So let's see. Yeah. So the offensive fire would have been a strength of 1. Minus 1 is 0. But a plus 1. So, but still a 93 is still going to be morale check minus 10. So same result. Okay. Same result. All right, so that skirmisher gets to fire. That's going to be, well, not skirmisher, but this SED unit. Strength of 1. Strength of 2 minus 1, so 1. And the skirmishers are gone. So, strength of 1. Firing at a unit in column, so a strength of 2. 16 is no effect. All right. Next, we go down here. All right, so we got this assault here. They're disordered, and they have a skirmisher. And this unit has a skirmisher and a leader. And they're in shrub. They're both in shrub. All right, so we have defender, attacker has to check morale. So your bottom's 5. 38 minus 5 is 33. So they are going to be shaken and just fall back. This is where I would think, oh, they should be able to get the fire on them as they're retreating, but not so. Okay, I was doing that, but involuntary movement. Okay, Messler is right here with this guy. But he just has a regular skirmisher. It's a deal here. Okay, so now we go to this unit here, and they're attacking that unit right here, who's disordered. Okay, so they're disordered. So we've got assault. All right. Got to check their morale. -5. 58 is 53, so they passed. They're going to have well directed fire. And the defender rolled a 23. They're not going to pass. So they're going to be shaken. And they're going to be forced back in here with these guys, which is going to make the whole stack shaken. Okay, and then they move in. Advance after combat. Attack units that are in normal morale state enter disorder. So, still have, let's see. Yeah, they still have their skirmisher. All right, then we have this unit attacking here. All right, so they've got to check to see if they pass the morale. 20, they don't. So they will be disordered. Okay. Okay. And the defender, they don't pass their morale either. So they are disordered. Skirmishers are going to be gone now. Oops. There it is. So they're disordered. All right. Defender fires first. So they have a strength of 5, -1, so it's 4. This is in columns, so it's back to 5. Okay, 5 got a 67. That's going to be a morale check -10. Plus defensive fire is -20 more. That's -30. Okay, so they fail. Become shaken and fall back. All right, so now we move to this unit against this unit here. right here. That unit. Okay, so this unit is salting under disordered. Put it like that. This unit's disordered, has this guy, and they're in column. All right. So he's disordered. All right, so let's roll. -5. Okay, so they're going to become shaken. These guys. And move back to here. They'd just be shaken with these guys. So but I think those guys, either way, I think these guys have to check their morale, because they might break. Well, there's a +1 movement cost for passing through another unit. I didn't use that earlier. Pretty sure even if you stack, you would cost that unit all right, let's see here. It's gonna be in retreat movement. Okay, combat units that retreat may temporarily violate stacking limits, but they cannot end their retreat stacked with combat units which they did not begin the retreat with. They must continue to retreat if they can reach a vacant hex. Broken or routed units that retreat through a friendly hex cause the stationary units to morale check. Okay, so there is no morale check, but they can't stop here. They would just pass through. So they wouldn't be able to stack. And I think, did I have another one that I stacked somewhere? Yeah, I think I did. It was, yeah. It was right back here, I believe. Wasn't it? Maybe. Oh, I guess not. I thought I stacked somebody. Some point or other. Okay. Put these guys back. All right, and then we have one more assault, which is right over there. And let's see, can we get closer to that? Yeah, sure we can. All right, so we've got this unit against this unit right here. So they're assaulting. They've got a skirmisher. Now, this unit, they're disordered. They have this SCD unit. They're being assaulted in the flank. All right, so the British rolled a 92. So they passed their morale check. All right. The British, they're disordered. So that's -5. And then assaulted in the flank is -20. So I guess that SCD doesn't apply. Because one thing, but the SCDs are all around facing, but this is a little different, I guess. All right, so that's -10, no, 20, -20, and then another -5. So we got 52 -15, 37. And they have a 32. So they passed. And the SCD unit has all around facing. So they would be able to fire here. They're going to have a strength of 1. 2, they get a strength of 2, -1, so a strength of 1. Plus they get the well-directed fire. So they're at 3. They rolled a 12. And I don't think that's going to do anything. Strength of 3, 12, no. Now, of course, the skirmisher's gone. Okay. So now, the defender has a strength of 1. With the SCDs, that's -2. I don't know, maybe the SEDs have to be flipped over. What happens there? Maybe they can't be stacked. Maybe they would only have to, maybe they'd have to be alone in a hex to be like that. Maybe that was one of the things. SCDs have to be, they can't be stacked, maybe. They can't be stacked with a unit. Let's see. Let's see what we got. Now this battalion size. But, what's it say over here? Now it does say remove skirmishers, remove skirmisher markers from attacking defending stacks. So let's see here. Let me go over to that and take a look. Because you would pull your skirmishers back. Otherwise, they're going to get slaughtered out there. So basically, okay, so this unit, okay, they can't stand. they automatically have to retreat. Let's see, 13-4. Let me find that. Okay. Okay, so company-sized infantry units in SED formation must retreat before assault in all terrain except post hexes. In post hexes, they may elect to retreat before assault. So these guys would not be able to remain on the top. So, of course, they can't go there. They could go back to there. Or just go to the bottom. But they can't stay. So I'll put them back here. But if I do that, this has already got skirmishers. And to flip them over, they can't go there. They got to go to the bottom, like that. They can't stay. Okay. So now that they can't fire. Okay, because they're facing this way. So they're shaking. As far as I know, they're shaking. Okay. So they can't fire. And I should have done that. That should have happened back over here too. With this, like so, and then he would have only had a strength of 1 instead of having, what do you have, a strength of, yeah, strength of 2. Yeah. Oh well. All right, let's go back over here to the other one though. All right, so their front hexes are these 2 hexes. So they can't fire. This unit can fire. So they have a strength of 1. And they're firing into the flank of that unit. So that's +2. So now they have a strength of 3. And 2 more for being well-directed fire. So they're at 5. 65. Okay, morale check -10. Okay. They have 52 minus 10 and they're disordered, so 15. 37. So they failed. So they have to go through this unit here. Looks like we got here. So they are going to go boom, boom. So they're shaking. Rid of that. And then this unit moves right in there. And they are disordered. There we go. And that's something I haven't been doing, is handling all of the little intricacies of the assault with the skirmishers. Those SEDs, I've been leaving them, and they've got to go. They've got to retreat, or they've got to, and they could go to the bottom of the stack and come out of skirmish mode. Because if they're just a skirmish counter like this, they just disappear. And so if they're company size, I just flip them over if they're stacked. And maybe, well, they can stack. Maybe battalion size, that's different, because they've got to make a morale check when they try to consolidate and go back to regular formation. So, yeah. All right, so the French had a little bit of success there. Not, well, I mean, over here they did. And they're in position to just, in the next turn or two, maybe turn in the British flank. It all depends on how fast they can get some of this cavalry. Whether this cavalry, that unit right there, next turn, they're going to be ready to charge right here. And this one here could possibly be ready to charge. And if things could get difficult for the British over there on that flank too. They're kind of in a bad spot, especially since Berard kind of limited Wellesley's orders. Didn't allow any orders. So, okay, next video it'll be the British turn.